So we now start with standard 9th biology, and we start with the new chapter, that is AIDS to health. Now it's quite a good chapter, considering that it gives you a good amount of knowledge about our immunity levels and what is the different kind of immunization what we have in our body. It tells us that how our body is fighting with against the viruses or the diseases which are entering into our body, and also it is going to tell you about how are different vaccinations available which is going to help us to stay away from the diseases. So firstly, we see that every individual wishes to keep healthy and disease free. This requires several things, some at personal level and some at community level. At personal level, one has to keep his body clean by washing, bathing, brushing teeth, regular physical exercise and proper diet, and proper rest and sleep. At community level, our surroundings should be kept clean with no accumulation of garbage or stagnant water, etc., so that the disease spreading insects and pests do not thrive. So yes, we can see that we always want ourselves to be healthy, and for to remain healthy we have to have two support system. One is having your own personal cleanliness, and secondly is the community cleanliness, or the community level at which you will be able to help yourself to be remain healthy. In the personal level, we know that we need to clean ourselves, that is, we need to bathe, we need to brush our teeth, have a regular physical exercises is required, we should have a proper diet, and also proper rest and sleep. So all these gives rise to a healthy body on one side, but at the other side you also need the environment around you to be healthy so that you can stay healthy. Because if the environment is not healthy, if the sanitation, if there are too many insects around you, or there is too much of garbage around you, then definitely that particular place will not have a proper living area wherein you can remain healthy. So that's why we need to be seeing both the sides, that is personal level as well as community level. April 7th is considered to be as a World Health Day. So this day is celebrated to create consciousness about keeping healthy and disseminating the message at all levels. So we are spreading the message that we should be healthy, and we should be creating the awareness about the keeping healthy, and that is why it is a World Health Day as April 7th. Now we talk about immunity. Immunity, when our body starts to fight against any kind of the diseases, then that fight against that disease is called as immunity. So immunity is how we are able to fight against the diseases inside our body. So that's why immunity means body's defense against disease. Okay, immunity is nothing but the body's defense against disease. Our body is all the time invaded by various harmful substances like pollutants, poisonous chemicals, and germs. So you'll always find that our body is continuously throughout, when we are traveling somewhere, you'll be having the pollution around you, or you are there is somebody who is smoking cigarette next to you. Some other thing is going to take place around you which is going to be like a pollutant, that is the kind of impurity around you. So the poisonous chemicals and germs around you will always be there invading you. They may enter our body in the following way. So this particular kind of pollutants, they can enter into the body in basically 4 different methods. There are 4 different methods by which that particular thing can enter into our body. The first one being directly through skin. So it is possible that it is available in the atmosphere, and it reaches our skin, and it is entering in the skin directly into the body. So that could be directly from the skin. Secondly, through mucous membranes of eyes, nose, urinary tract and or genital tract. So either it is entering into the openings like the nostrils or the eyes, so eyes, nose and also the urinary tract. So those areas, from there also the infections or you can say the diseases can be spread or enter into the body. Next is through food or water intake. Yes, we eat so many sweet food or such, or we drink water anytime which is outside, which we may not be knowing that it is not purified completely. So such cases, these water and the food which we intake could also have some kind of germs or some kind of chemicals present, poisonous chemicals inside it, which could be harmful for our body. And finally, to the air we breathe in. Yes, it could be airborne. See, it could be such that it is airborne, and the virus or the infection is in the air, and when you breathe in, that particular air is going to enter into your body and also enters the infection. So this way, from the skin through the mucous membranes of the nose and the eyes and the urinary tract, or the food and water what we intake and the air what we breathe in. This four ways is the method by which any particular kind of infections or germs can enter into our body. So our body system first tends to prevent their entry into the body. Secondly, if somehow they do enter the body, fights with them so that they cause no harm or we render harmless. So this is called as a defense system in our body, works at two levels. So you can see that the defense system, so our body first of all tries to see to it that that particular kind of infection or that particular kind of germs do not enter our body at all. We do not allow them to enter our body. So that's the first thing. So, and the second thing is that in case if they do get successful in entering into the body, then we kill them or we make them harmless. So we render them harmless. That is the next thing what they can do. So fight against them and make them harmless. So these are the two ways we see. One is the preventive method itself. So that is prevention of entry of the germs. And secondly, if they entered, then to make them harmless. So that's why we have the system. There are two, the defense system of the body is divided into two parts. So we can say it works in two levels. The first is local defense system, that is prevention of entry of the germs. So first thing is you are not allowing the germs to enter the body at all. So entry nahi hoga to fir aage kya, right? So that is the first thing. So the first is the most important, that is the preventive measure, that you are not allowing the infection to enter the body, right? So for this particular thing, we have got four different kinds of mechanisms. So that is this kind of barrier system which tackles the germs at their possible entry points. It includes protective mechanical barriers, thrown out if entered, germ killing secretions and germ fighting WBCs. So there are three ways in which you are preventing the germs from entering into the body or affecting the body. First is by protective mechanical barriers. So there will be protective mechanical barriers like the skin. The skin is the protective mechanical barrier which does not allow the germs to enter directly inside our body. That's one thing. Thrown out if entered. So you maybe normally you sneeze or you cough. That is basically the method by which you are removing that particular germ from your body if it has entered. So you are throwing it out, or even vomiting is a kind of thing. Germ killing secretions, you may have seen that there are our saliva or the gastric juice, the tears. These are the secretions which are going to be such that they will kill the germs if the germs try to enter through that particular path. And finally is germ fighting WBC. So in case it still is able to pass through all these barriers and still enters into the body, then there will be our soldiers, the WBCs, which will be fighting against these to kill them. So That is the part A, that is the local defense system. And part B is the immune system, which deals with the germs after they enter the body. So if at all they enter the body, then comes the role of the second level, that is the immunization or immunity. So immune system is that system which is going to take care of that particular germ by making them harmless. So by making such kind of secretions which would make them harmless. So that is, germs after they enter into the body, they are going to be the immune system is going to deal with them which has already entered into the body. So now let's see in detail about the local defense system. So the local defense system, the first thing is mechanical barrier, protective mechanical barriers. So these include the skin, hair, mucus, etc. So first is skin. Skin has an outer tough layer made up of a protein keratin, and it is almost impermeable for germs. So germs cannot enter into through the skin directly. It's not possible for the germs to enter into our body through the skin directly, because the skin is impermeable, means it is not allowing anything to enter inside. Even water cannot enter through the skin into our body. Okay. You can just imagine if water would have, if the body would have been made up of not impermeable but something like semi-permeable, means allowing certain things to enter inside, then if I put my hand inside water, my whole hand would have swollen with water, right? So you can see nothing like that happens. Our body is such that even if you remain in the water for hours together, your body is not going to blow up with the water inside. So it is completely waterproof. It is not allowing any kind of water to enter inside. So when water cannot enter, forget other things also. So this is a completely impermeable membrane. So at any given time, there are lots of germs settled on the outer surface of the skin, which have come through the air or through direct contact with contaminated objects. So something or the other will be there in our hand at any time, due to the direct contact of any object what we have taken. Like it's a simple thing. We normally have a tendency to walk, when you climb up the steps, you are going to hold the handrail and walk. Now if the handrail is contains some kind of a some infection on top of it, what will happen? Yeah, it is going to be in your hand. So yeah, so every time you are going to be in contact with some or the other kind of direct contact with the contaminated objects, or it could be through the air also. Even a handshake or a kiss on the cheek of a baby transfers germs from one individual to another. Washing with soap and water removes the germs. Any scratch or cut in the skin opens the way for the germs to get in. So that's the thing, you need to keep your hands clean. So you keep on washing your hands properly. So if you keep on washing your hands regularly, then automatically you are keeping yourself free from the germs. And yes, any scratch or the cut which is there in your hand will be a very easy area, an open way for the germs to enter into the body. Should there be any cut in the skin, the clotting of the blood plugs the cut end of the blood vessel at the wound to prevent entry of the germs. So normally the mechanism, the inbuilt mechanism of body is such that if there is a cut in the body, any particular area of the body, there will be automatically blood clotting taking place, and the clotting of the blood will not allow the germs to enter into the body. So this way it is a direct mechanical barrier from the germs. So skin is the main part, which is the mechanical barrier. The second barrier method is the hair. Hair intercept the germs journey inwards or up to the skin. Hair inside the nostrils trap dust containing the germs. So yes, we have hair on our body. So that hair is not allowing the germs to. So first, it is a barrier itself. So the germs cannot enter directly because it has to pass through the hair. And similarly, the hair are there in the nostrils. Nostrils are going to trap the dust and the germs, and the hair in the nostrils are going to trap the germs and the dust. So that is the hair. The mucus is a slimy secretion of the epithelial layer of the various organs. For example, the mucus secreted in the nasal chamber and the windpipe traps many bacteria and prevent their entry into the body tissue. So the complete air, the nasal passage, that's from the nostrils to the trachea and to the lungs, that complete passage has got a secretion given out by these particular tubes, that this secretion is nothing but the mucus secretions. So the mucus is a slimy secretion, which is a sticky thing, which is going to attract the bacteria, and the bacteria and the germs are going to will stick to these particular kind of secretion. And the mucus, they trap the bacteria and prevent their entry into the body tissue. So basically this mucus membrane or the mucus slimy secretion is going to trap the bacteria and not allow them to spread into the body. Cilia of the windpipe throws out the bacteria trapped in the mucus. So the cilia is a hair-like structure. So basically when you see a trachea, the windpipe has got hair-like structures over here. This is hair-like structures. These hair-like structures which are here, they are called as cilia. So cilia is a hair-like structure, and they are always a lashing movement of the hair going on. That cilia is continuously having a lashing movement, and that lashing movement will throw the bacteria out as soon as it is being caught by the mucous membrane. So accordingly, the cilia of the windpipe throw out the bacteria trapped in the mucus. The next way of barrier is the thrown out if entered. So next is thrown out if entered. So in case it has passed through the nasal chamber, or it has passed through certain thing and entered inside, then it is going to be thrown out. So the next thing what is going to happen is that it is going to be thrown out. So if entered, thrown out. So that is the next thing. And what are the different methods by which it is going to be thrown out? The first is coughing. Okay, very simple. Whenever you feel that something goes wrong in your, something goes bad, something bad went into your mouth, what happens? You start coughing. करके वो बाहर निकलने की try करता. So we are trying to cough it out. So that is one way. Coughing is one thing. Second thing is sneezing. Something enters into your nose and suddenly what happens? You sneeze. So the sneezing action, the action of sneezing is basically the method by which the germ would have entered into the windpipe could be thrown out. So it is thrown out if it has entered. And the last one is vomiting. In case you have eaten something wrong and then it has created some kind of infection to your body, then the body's first mechanism is to remove that thing from the body. So what will happen is that particular thing is going to be thrown out through the digestive tract and thrown out in the form of vomiting. So coughing, sneezing and vomiting are direct methods to throw out the germs or any foreign unwanted objects which get into the respiratory and digestive system. Even diarrhea, loose motions, help in the throwing out of germs if the infection persists in the digestive tract. So in case if the digestive tract में vomiting नहीं हुआ and it is still retained in the body, then the next kind of method by which it will be removed from the digestive tract is loose motion. So loose motion is also one of the way by which it is removing all the waste or all the kind of infection present inside the body or entered into the body, or foreign but unwanted objects entered into the body. The third is germ killing secretions. So third one is our body contains certain kind of secretions which are able to kill the germs. The examples over here are, first is saliva, sweat, tears and nasal secretion contains germ killing secretion. So saliva, so that is one thing, because anything what you eat, the first thing it is going to get mixed up with the saliva. So certain kind of germs which could be harmful will be killed by the saliva itself. If not, when it enters into the stomach, the gastric juice is going to kill it. So this is one way the body is going to define itself from all the food material which we eat. They can be removed. They can remove the unwanted stuff from there. Next is sweat. Yeah, sweat is another method. The sweat itself is also a germ killing kind of secretion. Tears is also a germ-killing secretion, and that's I think something just enters into your eye. Immediately the tear starts coming out, the water starts coming out from the eye. That is nothing but the tear secretion is the one which is going to help you to kill the germs. And of course the nasal secretions are also the germ killing secretions. Hydrochloric acid secreted by the stomach kills germs that gains entry along with the food. So yes, I told you about the gastric juice. The gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid which is produced by the stomach. The stomach produces hydrochloric acid, which is the gastric juice, which is a germ killing secretion. The fourth method of local defense is the germ fighting white blood cells, WBC. It is the soldiers of our body, the WBC present in the blood. Should any microbe enter the body system, the white blood cells by phagocytosis are ready to fight them. They squeeze out the walls of the blood capillaries by diapedesis and engulf the bacteria or the germ and destroy them with the help of by the method of phagocytosis. Now these are certain words we just heard. One was diapedesis. Now this is a blood vessel. That means if this is a artery or a vein, right, and the blood is flowing through this thing. Now white blood cells are, they are amoeba shaped. They don't have a proper shape. Now these white blood cells, they have the tendency that between the walls over here, they can squeeze out from here. They can squeeze out. यहाँ से ऐसे करके बाहर निकल सकते. They can come out from here. They will go like this and then they come out like this. So they can squeeze out from the capillary walls. From the capillary walls, they can squeeze out and come out of the blood vessel to fight against the germs. Now this squeezing out of this is called as diapedesis. So diapedesis is the method by which the WBC is going to come out of the blood vessel or the capillary wall to fight with the germ. Now once it comes outside, suppose this is a germ, so what it does is, it is going to engulf the bacteria. So it is going to form a shape like this and then cover it completely, and then it is going to digest it. So it is going to engulf the bacteria. So पहले वो ऐसे ऐसा उसको cover करेगा और उसके बाद cordon off करके उसको digest कर लेगा. So in this way, the WBC is going to engulf the bacteria. It is going to engulf the bacteria and make it harmless. So this engulfing the bacteria, the process of engulfing the bacteria is called as phagocytosis. So phagocytosis is the process by which the bacteria are getting engulfed by the WBC. So we see over here that should any microbe enter the body system, the white blood cells, phagocytes, are ready to fight them. They squeeze out of the walls of the blood capillaries by diapedesis and engulf the bacteria or the germ and destroy them by phagocytosis. Pus in a wound, for example, is a mixture of destroyed germs, killed WBCs and damaged tissue cells. So what is going to happen is, when you get some kind of infection over there, you will find that after a certain time, if it is slightly a bigger boil, it is going to give you a white colored secretion, that is a pus over there. Pus is nothing but the end result of the battle between the bacteria and the WBC. Bacteria and WBC जो उधर fight किया है, वो fight करने के बाद में जो residue of the white blood cells and the engulfed bacteria, that is nothing but the pus which is coming out from that particular wound. So pus in the wound, for example, is a mixture of destroyed germs, killed WBCs and the damaged tissue cells. So this is how the local defense mechanism of our body works. That is, with the help of, first is the protective layers, barrier layers like the skin, hair and mucus, or else thrown out if entered, like coughing, sneezing, vomiting. Germ killing secretions like saliva, sweat, tears and nasal secretions, or hydrochloric acid. And finally germ killing white blood cells. So you can see there are merits of the local defense system. So this local defense system is very, very, very advantageous. So what are the merits of this thing? First thing is that they start working instantaneously. They are not going to wait कि हाँ बाद में करते हैं, चलता है, करेंगे. No, instantaneously they see a germ, they are going to fight for it. So something enters, we sneeze. Something enters, we cough. So something enters the eye, we start tears coming out. So everything is instantaneous. They work instantaneously. They are not dependent on previous exposure to infection. They don't require to remember कि अरे हाँ ये वाला है ना तो इसके लिए मुझे ये करना पड़ेगा. Like for example we take medicine. So okay, if you have certain kind of a illness, you take certain medicine. Right? Our body also are going to prepare such kind of secretions depending upon its previous exposure to that particular infection. We learn that in the immunity part. So it is not, the body is going to remain immune only if it has experienced that thing earlier. Whereas here, in local defense mechanism, it doesn't require a previous exposure. The local defense mechanism is going to work even without a previous exposure to that particular kind of infection. And thirdly, they are effective against a wide range of potential infectious agents. So this is not only for this kind of a virus or this kind of a virus or this kind of a infection. It is for a wide range. Okay, the protective mechanism, the local defense mechanism of ours is going to be working on all the different kinds of infections which can be present around us. So it is effective against a wide range of potential infectious agents. So this is how we see the body is going to be doing the local defense system, or this is how the body protects ourselves from these kind of infections. So I think we'll continue with the immune system in the next video.